They got up, they ate breakfast, they lined up. The mighty valiant soldiers, the 7 priests with the 7 trumpets, the Ark of the Covenant. Joshua said, "Blow the trumpet." And the trumpet blew one time, and the people started marching. But Joshua said, "You must be silent. You must be still. You can't say a word." And it was about a half a mile around them walls. And they started walking, Jaden. And all you could hear was the crunch, crunch, crunch of the dirt under their feet. And they marched all the way around, BJ. They marched all the way around, and nobody said a word. I don't think you would have made it. They marched all the way around. Then the people in Jericho are looking at them. What are they doing? They were afraid of the Israelites. But now they see these people just marching around. So then the Israelites, they go back to camp. The camp's name is Gilgal. And they ate dinner, and they sit around and talked about how much fun they had marching around the walls. And then they went to bed, and the next morning, Miss Kim, they got up, they eat their oatmeal, and they took off again. The trumpet blew. The mighty valiant warriors, the 7 priests with the 7 trumpets, the Ark of the Covenant, and they marched. And you could hear the dirt under their feet, and they walked, and they walked. And then they went back to the house, back to Gilgal, chowed down. Chowed down, Terry. I know, you like that, don't you? And the next day, they blew the trumpet, and they marched one time. And you know what? Those people in there inside the walls, by now, Tony, they're going, what in the world are they doing? They're healed. They're like, can you believe we're afraid of them? Look at them. They're a bunch of lunatics. That went on, but on the 7th day, the horn blew. And they marched. But Jaden, this time, they didn't just march one time. And I know Jaden wouldn't make this. They had to march 7 times silently. I know Jaden would make it. Joshua was probably going to everyone, "Jaden, be quiet! Jaden, quiet, Jaden!" And they walked. And I'm telling you, the people in Jericho were losing their lunch. They just could not understand what these crazy people are doing. And they marched all the way around. And when they got around on the 7th time, Jacob, are you ready? Joshua said, "Blow the trumpets, 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 blow it loud, and now shout!" Leave them alone. They're good. Throw them over. We'll get them after church. Leave them alone. Nobody needs a whole box. Nobody needs a whole box. Thanks very much. Do you know that in 1938, archaeologists dug up the ancient city of Jericho? Do you know that they found every detail that I told you to be true? Do you know that there was food still inside that city? Do you know that the walls crumbled down because there was a great earthquake and they fell just like that? Joshua and his men didn't have to do anything. The walls crumbled. Joshua and his men ran with their swords drawn across the rubble, and they slew every living person inside that city but one lady and her family. Who was that? Who was that? Come on, adults. Who? Rahab. Rahab was not hurt. She gathered her family into her house and locked the door. The archaeologists said all of the walls fell down. Every house was crushed except one part of the wall. And that's exactly right. They said that was probably her house because it was on the back side of the lowest wall. And that's where she would have let those spies down when they crossed back over to tell Moses what was in the land. Or Joshua what was in the land, in the city. And that part of the wall was not touched. Why? Because God never goes back on a promise. Rahab had faith in God, and He saved her life. Her and all of her family got to go back and live with the Israelites. And she actually is part of the procession that leads up to the birth of Jesus Christ. She's in that lineage. She's in that lineage. One move of faith. Everybody else in Jericho was laughing and going, what are they doing? Rahab had her family in her house with the door locked. Because she knew exactly what God said. That's what He was going to do. And that's how Joshua tore down the walls of Jericho. Joshua went on to defeat 31 kings. Joshua defeated 31 kings. His life was full. His life was hard. His life was not easy. I brought my list of kings, but I didn't bring it in here. I'm sorry. But I held it up and I showed the kids each one of those names. And I said, but he didn't just defeat one king. Tony, he defeated that king and that whole nation. Millions of people. He defeated countries. He defeated tribes. He defeated millions of people. Because he obeyed God. He never thought God was crazy. He didn't always go with common sense. If anybody would use their common sense, the wall would have never failed. That is my biggest hang-up, is common sense. Well, wait a minute now. Would God really do that? I don't know. In my natural, I'm going, maybe you shouldn't do that, Gwen. That looks kind of idiotic. And I go with the common sense, and I miss tearing down the walls. God is a supernatural God. He tore those walls down supernaturally, and that's the only way you can overcome the enemy in your life. We all have them. I'm not here pointing a finger at anybody. I have giants. I have big giants. And they overtake me quite often. The only way that I can tear down those walls is to crawl up in my recliner with the Bible, Tony, and a pad and a paper, and start praying. I write as I pray because that keeps my mind focused. Because if I'm not focused, I'm thinking about Toby and Joe going to Vegas. If I'm not focused, I'm thinking about what I'm going to fix for dinner for Jen. If I'm not focused, I'm thinking about, well, what am I going to do in junior church next Sunday? If I don't set my mind and do it, then I am not focused, and I don't see walls come down. I've seen many walls come down. I've seen lots of things happen. But it's because I've got to focus my mind on the things that aren't common.